Listen, thank you very much for joining us today on our webinar, which is How to Drive Success in 2024 with our wonderful Matt Fiddes. We thought that we wanted to start the year off with a bang. We need to get the industry moving. Last year, the industry was quite stagnant, and Matt will go into that in a bit more detail. We want to make sure that 2024 is a huge success for our industry. So we thought who better to bring on board to provide some guidance on that than the very Matt Fiddes himself. Matt needs very little introduction from me, so I will let him do his own introductions. But in a nutshell, and from our perspective, we know we have the facts and the figures about Matt's business. So if there is ever any mystery around how successful he is, we can tell you firsthand and statistically based that he is very, very successful. He has the largest martial arts franchise in the world. We are very lucky to partner with him in his business in the UK and Australia, and moving forward, we'll be moving into Europe as well. He is a property mogul. He's an entrepreneur in many different areas. He's a business consultant, and much, much more, which he will tell you about. But I am now going to pass over, and thank you very much for Matt joining us today and for doing this webinar. I will leave the rest to you.
Thanks, Lou. I'll pay you later for that great introduction. Fantastic. Okay, everybody. So I know some of you just coming in the room, and my team will let you in, and Nest will let you in as you come on in. So first of all, just to give me an idea about who you are, what you do, etc., can you just put in the chat box what style of martial arts you do? Just so I've got an idea. So just type in whatever style it is, Krav Maga, Kung Fu, whatever, Taekwondo, Wadaru, Judo, Taekwondo, awesome, Shotokan, Kuksowan, brilliant, ITF style Taekwondo, Adrian, Goju-Ru, I'll take it, Natasha, kickboxing, Judo, Karate, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Good, Sean. Just put them in the comments. What style do you do? Just so I got an idea who I am working with. So I can't actually see you. So you can see me, I can't see you. Jeet Kune Do. Okay, I love that. Keep them coming. We've got a lot of people on this Zoom. So kickboxing, excellent. Just helps me to guide you the right way. If you're more of a grappling style or stand-up style or etc. Okay, so as they come through, just to help me out too, if you're a Nest client, can you put 1 in the chat box if you are with Nest currently? Carl, Barry, how you doing? Hey Ken, I saw you flash up there. Toby, James. Okay, a lot of you. If you're not a Nest client, can you put 2 in the chat box if you're not with Nest currently? So I know where you're at. Dante, I said your name right? Hopefully I have. Lauren, how you doing, Carl? Janice. Excellent. Okay, we've got some shy people too. Ah, you're an MF Prestige. How you doing, Dante? I thought I recognised your name. One of my clients. Excellent. Right, so let's jump into it. We're nearly at 40 on this Zoom, so if any more come in, then we'll let them come in late. So if people haven't heard of me before, then my team aren't doing a good job, because that's my whole thing. I want to make sure when it comes to martial arts, you need to be out there. And this whole webinar, I deliver real value, right? I don't fluff around and so forth. I'm going to give you, I hope, the most content you've ever had on a webinar ever. I've got nothing to really sell. If people want to work with me, that's great. They don't want to work with me, that's great too. I'm doing this. Nest are my business partners forever, and I've got a lot of time for Gerard, Louisa, Sean, and all the team. I'm doing this for free. I don't get paid to do this. I'm doing this because I want to take time out to help martial artists. I mean, that's my love, that's my passion, that's all I've ever known. So I'm going to take you through a little bit about my story, and then we're going to move on, and I'm going to give you some real content that you can take away, and we're going to talk about 2024, because the fact of the matter is, it's a scary year. It's a scary year. Just to give you an idea, 200,000 people per month are coming off their fixed interest only mortgages and going on variable. So a lot of you may be in this position where you're going from a 2% fixed to maybe 8 or 9% where your mortgage will triple. So I'm going to talk about how that's going to affect the industry. Rents are sky high at the moment. I've got a lot of rental property, over 300 properties. And a year ago, my rents have increased now since last year. They've doubled. So a 2-bed house that I would rent for 500 a month, I'm now getting 1,000 to 1,200 a month. Demand is out there. It's unbelievable. So what I'm going to show you to do today is how to earn 6 figures profit, not turnover. Okay, so a lot of you, if you can take notes as if I give this presentation, because if you write things down, it's proven that there's 80% more chance that you're going to actually take action on it. So 6 figures turnover. Again, so write this one down. Turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. Turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. There's a lot of people out there teach you how to gross 6 figures, or gross 7 figures, or gross 10 grand a month, or gross 500. Who cares about that? What matters is how much profit you're going to make. And in 2024, it's going to be about your mindset and having that in the right place. So let me give you a quick overview about what I've done. I know a lot of you may or may not heard about me before, or may have heard untrue things about what we do, because we've got well over 1,700 locations now around the world. And we're opening about 2,000 to 3,000 more with our latest acquisition, which is boxer size and kit boxer size. So they've got 5,300 locations. So we're going in each one of them and expanding the MF organization out. And I've been in this industry right from the very beginning. So let me tell you a little bit about me. So first of all, I was just a bullied kid at school. A lot of you would have had the same experience and motivate you to get started in martial arts. Bullied kid at school, 5 to 7 years old. Child sat next to me, was doing martial arts, and he said, like, this kid is always kicking me under the table, was very underconfident, it was affecting me academically. And he took me along to a jiu-jitsu class. I said, we've got some jiu-jitsu people here. I wasn't very good at that. I didn't like getting thrown on the floor and that type of thing. It wasn't my thing. But in the room next door, there was Taekwondo. And for those of you who've met me before, just out of interest, put one in the comments if you met me before in person or online. Okay, quite a few of you, that's cool. So yeah, I'm tall, 6'4", and I've got these long legs. So Taekwondo really worked for me, and I could already do the splits. I loved it. Pat Driscoll's my largest franchise on here. It's got 6,500 students, but he's awesome. So I was already able to do a lot of this stuff, and I actually found something that I was good at. When you're at school, you get told all the time, you know, it's very hard to have 30 or 40 kids in a classroom where the teacher's trying to treat you all the same. Whereas in the martial arts, you should be treating everyone as an individual to try and get them towards their goal. So with me, I found something I was actually getting praised for once, which I was good at. And what's not known about me, which no one really cares, and these days it's not really relevant, is in the Taekwondo world, I won 6 British championships in a row and a world championships in what I did. Back then, I did something called WTF Taekwondo, which was a huge thing. Now it's kind of not around no more. ITF kind of took over. That was a big thing. Now we're in like the freestyle world. So all I ever wanted to do is be a martial arts instructor. And I remember being in my mathematics class when I was 13. And one of the GCSE questions that we were studying for the mock exams was, how many different ways can you put 50p into a phone box? Is it 5 10p's or 2 20p's and a 10p? And I just thought to myself, this is ridiculous, you know? How is this going to help me when I leave school? I just want to be a martial artist, but there was no blueprint. No one had done it yet as a proper income. And my mum, she's not around anymore, sadly, but she died of about 56 of breast cancer. But she came from a background, she got 13 brothers and sisters, so 14 of them in total, and they all had university degrees. My mum was a solicitor, and my dad was from a ghetto trade. So when I said to them, I'm sure some of you have had the same experience, I want to be a martial arts instructor, I teach Taekwondo, they were like, Matthew, you can't earn any money kicking your legs about in the air. My granddad gave me a lecture. That's just the way their mentality is. Mentality and mindset is 80% of what your success will be anyway. So I left school And I'm not proud of it, but I had no GCSE qualifications. They're like D's and E's and F's, or off the scale Z's if it existed back then in grades. But I had my martial arts black belt. I had my passion, and I knew what I wanted to do, but I hadn't figured out how to do it yet. There was no nest. There was no EFC. There was nothing. There was no masterminds, groups, or anything like that. But being around the right people is what it's all about. Your network is your net worth. So write that one down. It's so important. Who you hang around with is who you become. If you hang around with 5 billionaires, you'll be the 6 billionaire. If you hang around with 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6 millionaire. If you hang around with 5 poor people, you're going to be the 6th poor person. And I learned that from an early age. So what happened is, to try and skip a few chapters, is martial arts business was not a thing back then. We're talking 1996. So there were people who were collecting cash in the lessons in ice cream containers, and I was one of them. I was working for £2.75 as a lifeguard at the North Devon Leisure Centre. Why I'm looking over there, because over the hills, that's where it is. A bit silly, really, because it's like 40 miles over there, but there you go. So used to being on stages. And £2.75, and it was painful. It really was painful. And my martial arts classes, I was teaching traditional WTF Taekwondo. And for those of you back then who can remember that, it was all about kicking. Put one in the comments if you know about WTF Taekwondo. It's very much repetition of kicking. Like the first half an hour you do turning kick, and then the second half an hour you do high section turning kick, and the last hour, I mean, there'll be 2-hour lessons. It's completely different to what we know now. But I loved it still, and it was what I wanted to be. So I was charging £3 a class, collecting an ice cream container, taking it to the bank, and I was quite happy. I was making £100 a night, teaching twice a week, and my hall rent was £15 to hire this school hall in a place called Braunton in North Devon, every Wednesday and Sunday night. So I was making £200 a week, which back then in 1997 or so was it was good money. My parents could argue with me. I was living in a bedsit though for £35 a week. I didn't like that because you had to turn the sofa into a bed every night and back again, and so on. And I struggled on financially. I got evicted out of the 3 bed sits, and eventually, what happened? Just by sheer chance, a close friend of mine was in America. Now remember, I know I'm talking like I'm ancient. I'm not that old. I'm 44. I may look older, but back then we didn't have this technology. We had kind of email and MySpace. Who remembers MySpace? But one of the comments, remember that? That's basically what we had, MySpace. Yeah. So we had to get on aeroplanes to get to places and learn this amazing stuff, which I'm going to teach you today. So one of my friends come back from the States and he said, listen, Matt, well, actually, I got a page. Remember the pages? I got a page saying, call me. And I remember now where I was in my bed sit, and I walked across to the red telephone box, which are now museum pieces. And I called him up. I said, listen, what's wrong? He said, I just come back from America. You won't believe what's going on over there. And there are multi-millionaire martial arts school owners everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, but the thing is, you know what it's like when you're a martial artist. I said to him, my response was, I don't want to compromise my standards for money. I was all about how can I kick as high as I can? How can I do the split? So you all would have seen those stupid pictures of me doing a side split kick in the air or splits on the chairs and with me ponytail, which made me a lot of money. So I don't regret it in a way. And he's like, Matt, you don't understand. They've got the standards and they've got the business. They've nailed it. And back then, USA was always about 20 years ahead of us in things, technology and embracing stuff. So I listened to him and I saved up enough money. Now there was a conference. Now this was back when you go to a conference, you don't get pitched. Who goes to conferences at the moment and it's just like a pitch fest? But one of the conferences that happened to you. That never used to be a thing. The pizza, yeah. So a lot of you go to a business event, so you just get pitch, course sold, poor sold, and you're like, got to try and hide your wallet away. Back then, that didn't happen. So we'd go to a 3-day business event, and there would be 1,000 martial arts business owners there because there wasn't this technology. People used to go to live events, and we'll come away with notepads full of content, information about what's working right now, what's to implement, and get it in there into your business. Now, I was really young, right? I was 17. So the owner who ran this conference is called Nicholas Kokinas. He was in his 80s, and it was at the Hyatt Hotel in San Francisco. And I used my last money to buy a ticket to get to San Francisco because I believed in my friend. I walked up to him, and he was sat there with his two sons, John Kokinas and Mark Kokinas. Sadly, Mark and Nick have passed away since then. And I introduced myself. I said, "Hi, my name is Matt Fiddes." Sorry if my notes gone there. My name is Matt Fiddes, and I'm from England. I've used my last money to come to your conference. I've heard great things about it, and I'm here to learn. Now, Nicholas Kokinas said it's very rare that anybody has the confidence to come up to him, and he had like shares in Marriott hotels. He's a multi-millionaire, like in the hundreds of millions. He made his money consulting all kinds of business, not just martial arts. And he said to me, he said, "Matt, you're so young. I'm very impressed with your attitude and the way you've introduced yourself to us, because most people don't have the guts to do that. And you've used your last money." And he took me under his wing, and he introduced me to all the people you would have probably heard of, like Dave Kovar. Have you heard of Dave Kovar before? Put one in the comments if you heard of Dave Kovar, who's my instructor. And all these big names, right, who are really good martial arts standards and good at the money. And that was my thing. I didn't want to compromise my standards for money. So I did a 3-day event, took all the notes down. We didn't have these things back then, iPads and stuff. So it was proper, like, writing stuff down. And he said to me, "Some of the stuff might work in England, Matt. We don't know. We've never tried it in England, but take it back anyway." And there was 4 of us, right? There was myself, a guy called Lee Charles, Kim Stones, John Jepson, well, there's 5 of us, and Ken Pankovic. We were the originals. Now, I was like little Matt, the youngest one out of the lot. So I was a bit of the test case, really. And so we come back to the UK. And the first thing we did is we had to work out, everyone was paying per class. We had to work out how we'd put them on what you would call direct debits now, but back then it was standing orders. So me being young and nothing to lose, I went first to put everyone on standing order. I had 100 members. So I stabilized my income from earning a few £100 a night to earning £5,000 to £6,000 a month by putting everyone on a standing order for twice a week. Now, bear in mind, my overheads were only £30 a week. That was it. So I stabilized my income, and I realized I was onto something. And then I changed things around. So I left the organization I was in because it was too political and they wanted to control me and everything I did. And we put music on in the lessons. We disguised repetition. We planned every lesson so that it was unbelievable. We had the marketing down, which we never had before. The retention, student service, we put up to an unbelievable level so that we were seen as a private school and not just a local martial arts club. I hated when people describe me as a martial arts club. We are a school. I like to think, well, I know, we teach everything the normal academic schools do not teach. We are a school. We're just as much value as what they are for a lot less money too. So I implemented that. And then the second stage after that is I wanted to have a full-time centre, which is what they got in America. America, they have all the full-time centres. Now in England, and I'll give you a word of warning at the end of this presentation about this, in England it's slightly different. So I walked into an estate agent, and above it there was 2 floors. Some of you may have seen this building, have been there. There's 2 floors that were filling. They were offices, and it was empty, been there for a while. The estate agent laughed me out, saying, "How can you make any money out of teaching martial arts? We can't take that risk with you. We have to knock all the offices down to make an open space for a dojo or dojan, whatever you want to call it." And that was that. Now, my mother was a conveyancing solicitor. So for those who don't know what that is, that's a solicitor who deals with property. So she knew the estate agent because she's dealing with exchange of contracts and completions all the time. So she called him up and said, "Listen, Matt's onto something here. He's doing like £5,000 to £7,000 a month. Why not give him 6 months free rent and give him a go and let him fund the knocking down of the partitions himself? Let them just give him a go. You've got nothing else to lose." So that's what they did. Now, we had one legal issue. I was only 17. But my girlfriend at the time was 19, so I changed her name to Fiddes by deed poll. She signed the lease, and we got in there. And I remember it was New Year's Eve, and it's right on the square, right on the front in Barnstable, where they do all the fireworks and the New Year's celebrations. And I was decorating with my last money, literally, and looking out the window thinking, am I doing things right? And this is one of the keys, right? So write this one down. If you want to be successful, you need to observe the masses and do the opposite. So everyone out there looking out of my martial arts school window were partying, and I was decorating on New Year's Eve. And it chimed at midnight. They're all doing Happy New Year and doing that silly song they sing. Fireworks were going off. And I did question myself, thinking, what on earth am I doing? Anyway, long story short, by implementing marketing strategies and doing everything that I'm going to talk you through today, 6 months' time after that, I had 700 members. Now, what that equated to what I knew by when you add in all the other income streams, like joining fees, merchandise sales, doing it all properly, gradings, upgrades, leadership, team building, events, all the different income streams. We have 17 in the MF organization. That equated to £80,000 a month, which is $1 million a year. I was making $1 million a year, just turned 18 years old. And I got to be honest with you, I thought it was a lot of luck at the time. And then back then, everyone was visiting my school, wondering what the hell I was doing. So, Martial Arts Illustrated magazine. Can you all remember that one? Put one in the comments if you remember that magazine. Big time magazine for us. I used to go on my BMX bike and with my pocket money and pick that one up every single month without fail. Bob Sykes, the editor, was interested in me. Although he was also very skeptical because I was making a lot of money and I was so young. So my dream was to be featured in Martial Arts Illustrated magazine. So he invited me up to Huddersfield and I had to fight him. I had to spar with Bob Sykes. And if he was happy with my martial arts skills, he'd put me on the front cover of Martial Arts Illustrated. Now, for anyone back then, a lot of you can kind of resonate with me. I know it's a bit of a strange dream. That was my dream, to be recognized for being a dumb kid at school. I've actually made it. And I wanted to show him. So I sparred with him. He was very happy. He did beat me up quite a bit. And he put me on the martial arts magazine. But back then, I had like a top right-hand corner of me doing a flying kick, which became like my signature move. Obviously, it went on to be, he tells me, it may just be keeping me happy. He said, other than Bruce Lee, I've had the most front covers of Martial Arts Illustrated ever since. Because when he put me on, it caused controversy. And obviously, my students would buy it. And we got thousands and thousands of them. And people were very intrigued and didn't know what I was all about. It was a bit of a mystery. And then Bob implemented some of the business strategies I did. I mentored Bob Sykes and his son, Oliver, in what we do with the MF system as well. So that's what came about. And I did that 5 times. I opened up 5 schools. We had Barnstable, Ilfracombe, Biddeford, South Molton, Braunton. Now, the next stage of my life, I'll just go over because it's kind of irrelevant, but it's relevant to a certain extent. Obviously, then I became, a lot of you remember back then, we had TV shows like Trisha, Esther Ramson, Richard and Judy, and so on. So I got featured in the national media by mistake. One of my parents said, listen, you're bullied at school. I work for a news agency. You clearly you're doing well. You got a nice car. I had a Ferrari 355, which was one of my dreams to have at the age of 20. And I achieved it much earlier. He said, you're doing well. I want to do a story on you. And I thought this was the local paper. Again, I was looking for recognition. And he did a story. He took a picture of me in my car. He did the whole story, asked me about bullying, what it was like, and no qualifications. That's it. And I said to him, he's called Nick Constable, as he left. I said, do you think I'll make the local paper? Because in Martial Arts Illustrated, that was one of my dreams come true. And I wanted a bit of recognition because I was told all my life I couldn't do anything. Anyway, nothing happened for about 2 or 3 days. And some of you remember this, what happened. It exploded. I was on the front page of every single tabloid and broadsheet in England and around the world. Bully boy becomes millionaire. And now the picture of me when I was like 7 years old, picture of me doing a martial arts punch in my uniform, and a picture of me in my sports car. Now, what happens then? TV stations, they scan the newspapers, and I'll teach you how this works as well, maybe on a further Zoom too. And I ended up being on Trisha, Esther Ramson. I mean, some of you may be too young to remember these shows. Who remembers Trisha, Esther Ramson, Richard and Judy? And we had GMTV back then, not Good Morning Britain. So I did all those shows. And back then, we didn't have social media. So they were like 20 million people watching at one time. So I was established, I was controversial, and so on. Now, by sheer chance, Uri Geller was watching that? Who remembers Uri Geller? In England, he's more known for spoon bending. He's actually extremely wealthy, property tycoon. He's famous all around the world. And but yeah, UK, they call him the spoon bender. But he wanted to meet me, and I went to meet him at his mansion. He's got a £20 million mansion right next to George Clooney's house in Sonnet-on-Thames. And as I went down that driveway, that kind of motivated me, thinking, I want to be where this guy is. You know, it's incredible. Famous worldwide, built the biggest thing in his niche ever. You had Tony Robbins, where he focused more on mindset, and Uri Geller focused on mindset, positivity, and then he had this gimmick, which is spoon bending, when Tony Robbins is the firewalk. So two different animals, but very similar sectors. So Uri wanted to do this video with me, and he would do mindset to teach kids to stay away from bullying, etc., and how to recognize a bully. And I'll do the basic self-defense moves. And the idea is we'd give it all out to the kids in the UK, a VHS copy. Now, obviously, the next stage, what happened, I became very close friends with Uri Geller. And in the middle of the night at 3 a.m., he calls me and says, Matt, you got to come to my house now. Now, you try and explain this to your wife, right? Because he wouldn't tell me why. It was 3 a.m. And I said to him, Uri, you got to tell me why. He said, I can't tell you why, but if you don't come, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. So I said to him, can you just tell me? He said, no, love you, bye. Put the phone down. So I said to my other half, I'm off to Uri's house. She said, yeah, I bet you are. Drove there, got there about 6:30 in the morning, went down the driveway. The gates opened to this incredible mansion. It's like a replica of the White House. You can Google his house after, it's insane. No real giveaway. He had 3 SUVs out there that parked outside. I go in there, and this man walks up to me. He bows. He says, hi, Master Fiddes. My name's Michael Jackson. Pleased to meet you. And me and Michael Jackson became very close friends. Now, why I'm bringing him into it is he taught me to expand my mindset. So I locked in thinking I've only got those 5 schools in North Devon, and the nearest town was 40 miles away, and I can't get an instructor team member to travel there. Michael, after I got to know him, I was best friends with him for 10 years. He said, of course you can. If I can be a poor boy from Gary, Indiana, and have the biggest selling album in the world, Thriller, when he's one of 9 kids living in a 2-bedroom house, poor, borrowing food from neighbors to feed the family, you can do it. And I said, how can I do it? He said, franchising. And I said, it's never been done in martial arts before. And Michael said to me, that's exactly why you got to do it. So I was the first to franchise martial arts in the world. And he wrote it on a napkin. I wish I kept it. He told me what I need to do: get everything optimized, get everything scripted, get my marketing right, get my sales system right, get my service right, retention right, get in the mainstream media. And he kept me accountable. And in return, I organized all his personal security and for him and his children, his family, for free for 10 years. And that's how it worked out. So that's my story in a nutshell. So I opened up this business with £100 in 1996. That's what you needed to have to open up a bank account, a business bank account back then. And it recently got valued last year, a lot of you seen, for 120 million. So it's a mega brand now. I'll never sell it. I love it. And I want to give to you today real hardcore advice on what you need to do and how to do it. So let me get on. So I'm going to start asking you questions, and I want you to be interactive on this. We've got 50 people in this webinar. Incredible show it, right? Give you stuff you can go away and get on with. So first of all, let's get right to the point. What business are we in the martial arts? Put in the comments, what business do you think we are in? What business are we in? Are we leisure? Are we sport? What do you think we are in? Education, Daniel Flowers. Personal development, education, life skills, sport and education. Keep going. Nobody ever gets this right. Until you understand this concept, you're never going to build a massive success of your martial arts business. Lifestyle change and mindset. Okay, let me get to the point. So the business you're in, service. All right, okay. Roy, you got it right. So almost got it right. So you write this down. You're in the business of sales and marketing. That's what you're in. That's not what you want to hear. What you get to do is you get to service your students, teach them self-defense, offer an amazing martial arts school. But until you've marketed your business and you've made a sale, took a member on, you've got no one to offer your incredible services to, whether it's Kung Fu, Jiu-Jitsu, Jeet Kune Do. You're not going to have any students. So you're in the business of sales and marketing. Every business in the business sales and marketing. In fact, even people like doctors, they've got to convince you and sell you, market to you that you need an operation, or that you're not well, or you need to improve your diet. You know, dentists have got to convince you need to have this tooth out. Everything starts with sales and marketing. Okay. Now, there are 3 areas of our business. Write these down. Number 1 is marketing. That needs to come first. You need to be an absolute genius at marketing in the martial arts. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere. Now, I upset a lot of people because I'm good at marketing. I've been doing this 27 years. I know exactly what to work. And the more people you upset, the more members you get in. You need to be in people's faces day and night, constantly and aggressively. You cannot market aggressive enough, especially in 2024. Okay, so marketing is number 1. Number 2 area of your business is sales. You need to be able to sell memberships. And I'll talk you through this in a second, because I don't like the word sales, nor do we sell. I'll talk you through how we do it in the MF organization. And number 3 is what you get to do in your love, your passion. You get to do your job, which is service your students, teach great martial arts lessons and enjoy it. But without marketing and sales in place, you're going to fall down. And service obviously is retention, keeping that tight, keeping that quit rate really below 3%. That's where you want to be. So they're the 3 areas. Number 1, marketing. Number 2, sales. Number 3, service. Everyone get that? Put 1 in the comments if you understand that. I'm just going to tell you as it is. No one else does in this industry nowadays, so what the hell? I've made my money. I'm here to give, and I want to help you out as much as I can. The other thing for 2024, write this down, right? Before the pandemic, it was very much everyone's competing against each other. Like people, oh, MF martial arts is coming to my area, and people would freak out. I remember I opened up a school in Chepstow in Wales, and the guy was freaking out. The whole thing, the more people that are doing martial arts business and raising the education that this is normal, the more successful everyone else is going to be. And if people can't make a Wednesday night for MF martial arts, they will be aware of the benefits of martial arts, and they might make a Friday night with you guys. So the key to success is to collaborate, do not compete. Collaborate, do not compete. That's why I've got people who franchise with me, because they don't want to work all this stuff out themselves. It's took me 27 years of School of Hard Knocks to work this stuff out, backwards and forwards, over £1 million in education, networking with the greatest minds in the world. Now the biggest school owners in the world, like Dave Kovar, they come for me for advice on what to do. It's turned its tables because I'm there. My job as the owner of 1,700 locations is to be at the cutting edge of what's working, because it's always changing, especially with social media. So there we are. We covered the 3 rules of business. So if nothing else, you've got some great stuff out of that today. So the secret is to build a successful martial arts school. So write this down. Number 1, you need to open the front door as wide as you can. So your way to get members in needs to be massive. You need to open that front door. Okay. Number 2, you need to shut the back doors, class, as much as you can too, which means stop your quit rate. Have a good attrition rate. Your retention needs to be there. There's no point pouring students in and they're going out the back door as quick as they're pouring in. Open the front door wide, shut the back door shut. So you need to learn the strategies and systems on how to get the members in, how to market and sell, get the members in, keep the front door wide, and then all the systems on how to retain the members. And that's the thing in itself. I think we have like 70 retention systems in the MF organization, and we keep it below. Actually, I've got Pat Driscoll here. He's got 6,500 students. Pat, what's your attrition rate on 6,500 students with the MF organization currently? Put it in the comments. Pat knows his figures. If he's still here, he will put that in the comments. So that's the secret. Open the front door and lock the back door shut. Now you've got to work out what to do and how to get the members in. Now, we talk about gross and profit. So the goal is, you're not on this you're not on this event to be in the UK, right? When I do events around the world, it's different. Apart from Australia, UK doesn't like to talk about money. America, they talk about money, and if you're successful, they pat you on the back and wish you well done. In the UK, everyone just wants to stab you in the back if you're successful, right? And a lot of you here, I recognise your names. You're successful. You probably experienced this. Who's found that if you're successful in the UK, you get like punished for it? Put 1 in the comments if you've experienced that. I mean, I've been through this on a massive scale, but I flipping love it, because for me, it measures my success. The more haters I get, the more trolled on I get, I know I'm doing something good, because I'm upsetting people because they have their own insecurities. When people troll and hate on you, it's because they've got a problem with themselves, not with you. They've got an insecurity that you're going to wipe them out of the water. That doesn't happen. You're just going to raise the profile of the martial arts in our area. There's room for absolutely everyone. So yeah, a lot of you have been through this, so it's important to understand. So the goal is 6 figures profit. Write that down. 6 figures profit is what you need, not turnover. That's ego. That ain't going to pay your bills. That's not going to enable you to retire. Don't think you can rely on the government with your flipping state pension. If you're a man with a 67, for a lot of you, be moved back to 85 if they got any money at all. They're 3 trillion in debt. They're not going to help you out. So 6 figures profit per year you need to earn, right? So around about 10 grand a month. Now that's taking into account that UK is one of the highest taxed countries in the world, and taxes are going to go up as well. So if you're earning 10 grand a month, you're going to be left with, after you paid your NI, NI is a tax, by the way, in disguise as well. You're going to end up with about 5 grand left. You can live on that. Now, that's not where I want you to be. I want you to be doing 20, 30, 40 grand a month, you know, or millions a year like Pat Driscoll's doing, because everyone should have financial freedom. You shouldn't have to look at receipts. You shouldn't have to worry about your bills. You shouldn't have to worry about competitors. You should be able to have as many kids as you want. I think most divorces are caused by lack of money. Most, not even times your kids are lack of money. And the martial arts business is quite unsociable. And you need to be able to build a team and pay a team so you can be at home with your kids and have more time. It's not all about the money, but it's not all about being poor. I've been poor and I've been rich, and I prefer being rich any day of the week. I can choose when I want to dip in and work and be creative for my franchises and go to events, network with billionaires, and bring the latest things that are working at this current time. So financial freedom gives you the ability to do what you want to do, whenever you want to do. And all the material stuff you have means nothing. And you won't, I can't teach you that until you've experienced that. I've got the Lamborghinis, I've got Ferraris and masses of property. You know, I live in an incredible home here, got my own cinema. It don't mean anything to me. Now I've achieved it. I've got 6 children and a wife. As long as I've got them under a roof, I'm quite happy. And that's why I'm willing to give this stuff back to you guys, because it's kind of hard to teach you all this until you've been there. Once you've achieved your goal, you don't want to be setting goals, you want to be setting action steps, because your goals should be an everlasting journey to get to where you want to get to. So 6 figures is what you want to be earning per year. And then you need to learn how to invest that money, because it gets taxed the most. We've already established that. About 50% of that money will, with all the taxes that you have, will be gone. And then you need to invest that money into an asset class which gives you money where money works for you and you don't work for money. So that's what I've done. I've got the biggest property portfolio in the southwest of the UK. I'm very proud of it. I've been buying since I was 18 years old. I'm buying again. I just viewed a property this morning with 8 apartments in, which I'm going to buy. Now is the time to buy. They're about 25% cheaper on average across the UK than they were a year ago. And what I do is I teach my franchises, if they want to do it, how to earn 6 figures and then invest into property. I believe property is the best asset class out there. Ever since time, it's been proven to double every 10 to 15 years, ever since property records existed. And they're not building any more land. It's safe. Everyone, you've all heard the saying, safe as houses, etc. But it's a system. It's a bit like the martial arts business. You need to learn that. Maybe I could teach you that on one of my future webinars. So 10 grand a month, then into real estate. That's my opinion. Now, you might want to do other stuff, but I would advise you against stocks and shares, crypto, and all the rest of it. It's not been proven, and you can lose money. You're never going to see a situation where property will be wiped out and be worth nothing. They can't build it fast enough. The government are too far behind. So 2024 opportunities. So what have we got going in our favour? Now, then the negatives that you might think is actually the positives. How many people in the UK do you think are going to be affected by the base rate gone up? So currently, the base rate is 5.25%. And it's gone up really fast over the last 18 months. The fastest it's gone up in 15 years. Shocking. So a lot of you won't know. If you're a little bit younger than me, you're only going to know this era of borrowing money at 1%, 2%. Now you're looking at 7, 8, 9%. Now, the reality is, when I bought my first property, 6% was cheap. It's cheap money, and the government have to reward the lenders at some stage. On the savers are out there, so don't think it's ever going to go down to 1 or 2% again in your time. It's never going to happen. But now a lot of you are concerned, and by watching mainstream media, thinking, is it going to affect my martial arts school? If I'm going to spend money on advertising or my time on marketing, is it going to affect it? But how many people? So we have close to, I'm very good friends with Nigel Farage, love him or hate him. I get on well with Nigel, been on his show on GB News many times, and he's very intelligent. He tells me no one in Parliament has even had a paper round, let alone run a business. So it's down to you guys. But he reckons there's close to 80 million people in the UK. There's 70 million here officially, apparently. How many people do you think have got mortgages who are going to be affected by being on a fixed interest rate and they're coming off? Now, it's going to be 200,000 a month at the moment. Okay, so 200,000 people a month are coming off their mortgages and haven't prepared and are going from 1-2% fixed and going to be hit 6, 7, 8% variable. They're triple. And people not taught this stuff at schools are not planning for it. Just type in the chat box how many millions of people out of 80, 70, 80 million, whatever it may be, do you think have a home mortgage that's going to be affected? What figure do you think it is? 60 million, Pete's put. 60 million, Pete thinks, is going to be affected by the mortgage increases. 25 million. 30 million, Adrian's put. Janice, 50%. 70 million. Okay, I'll cut to the chase on this one. So let's bear in mind this, right? You may not be so lucky. A lot of people inherit money. They inherit property. They inherit money where they can pay off mortgages. We've been taught at school and brainwashed to pay off your home mortgage, which in my opinion as an entrepreneur, not just in martial arts, but I've got many other businesses too, like mentoring business owners, property portfolio building, social media, etc. We've been taught from school that paying off our mortgage is the thing to do. It's the worst thing to do. It's the worst thing to do, because borrowing money on your residential where you live is the cheapest money you can borrow. So you always want to highly leverage that to buy to let houses, which is more expensive, until you've got enough rental income in it, so you don't have to work, and that can pay for your dream home. So, number one, a lot of people inherit properties. You may not be so lucky. I certainly haven't. Sadly, I've lost both my parents very young. But yeah, they inherit properties. Now, the other thing too, a lot of people are in council or authority accommodation. That makes up a big bulk of it, massive bulk of it, who are looked after by you, the taxpayers. Your tax money is going on houses, rightly or wrongly. I mean, a lot of people deserve it, receive they're disabled, and they can't work and so on. A lot of people take advantage of it, I believe. So there's millions and millions of people who are housed by the council. Now, the next one is the private landlords, which make up a huge, the renters out there, which make up a huge sector of this too. And there's a lot of them. Who do you think is the biggest, who is buying the most property out there at the moment and trying to be the biggest private landlord in the UK? Who do you think it is? Put in the comments. Who do you think it is? Bank, Stante. What bank is it? I was in there yesterday actually having a conversation with them. Who are my competitors? So I'm buying lots of property at the moment because 2024 is a land of opportunity. The church, you can buy churches at the moment very cheap. Lloyd's, there you go. Who got that? Dean. Okay. So Lloyd's Bank are on a mission to buy and be the biggest privately owned, have the biggest private portfolio in the UK. Now that shows a few things. That they know what they're doing. Now, by the way, they're using your money. If you've got money in the bank, they're using your money. They only guarantee up to 75,000, 80,000 of it. So if they go bust, then they're fine. So if they invest in property, it means they know it's safe. So when I'm viewing, I'm up against Lloyd's most of the time, which is impossible because they're paying for market rate. So they're going hard at it. Now, this is the true figure. Write this down. 2.6 million people will be affected by the interest rates going up. Homeowners. 2.6 million. And it's happening now at 200,000 people per month on average are coming off. Not planning for it, it's not taught that at school, college, university. Don't know what to do. Don't have the mortgage advisor like I do. Don't have people like me around them who've been there and been through the whole recessions before in 2008. I grew through the lockdown. You've all seen that. I won an award for it from Gerard, Franchise of the Year. 3 times the size coming out of lockdown. We grew the MF organisation. 2.6 million, that might shock you. So let's be honest with ourselves. This is the real truth, right? You're glued to the TV. They're saying, everyone can't pay their bills. There's no shortage of money out there, everyone. There is no shortage of money. There's plenty of money out there, just in the wrong bank account. It should be in yours. And it's the brainwash. Now, what do you think the mainstream media's agenda is? What's the problem we got? So when I was back on TV massively, we had 1 to 4 channels, and then Channel 5 started to appear. Who can remember that era? Put one in the comments if you can remember that. And I can work out your kind of age group then too. Okay. Now we got thousands of channels, literally tens of thousands of damn things. So when you go on TV, if I go on TV now, most of the time, if I'm invited on This Morning or Good Morning Britain, I'd rather be zoomed in by the time I get to London and stay in a hotel, because you're talking about 500,000 people watching it. I can hit more people than that on a social media post if I get it right. Not worth my time and effort. So why is mainstream media being so desperate to get your attention? What are they trying to do? Why are they trying to convince you that everyone's broke and scare the life out of you at the moment? You'll never find positive news on TV. Back then, used to. They feed on fear, scare people, impulsive and easy to control. That's right, Dante. And what is their agenda? What do they need to do? What do they need to turn around to prove to people? They need to sell advertising slots. So unless they've got eyeballs on the TV screen, they're not going to be able to sell their advertising. They need figures. And the way you do that is by scaring people to death and putting the fear of God up them. If I did a Zoom today saying, emergency, we're going to have another pandemic, we'd have 4 or 5 times more people on this Zoom. That's the truth. People want to move away from fear and go towards pleasure. Let's write that down. People want to move away from anything that's going to hurt them, fear, and move towards pleasure. So it's not really an issue. It's not really an issue. You've got to find 200 or 300 people in each town where you've probably got 30, 40, 50,000 people who can afford your martial arts school. Is that an issue? Put one in the comments. Can you do that? Now we've established this whole financial illusion as it is. 2.6 million, 200,000 a month. It will be over by the end of next year. Bad news sales. That's right. Alison, put one in the comments if you agree with me that you can find 200 people, 300 people in your town who's willing to pay. Yeah, now you understand that. No one's telling you this stuff, are they? It's sad, I know. Don't watch the media, but take advantage of it. And I'll get onto that in a second. Okay. All right, let's move on to my next section. So, social media marketing, most of you will only know that. I built the Matt Fiddes martial arts schools with offline marketing. If you solely focus on social media marketing, you've got yourself in a lot of trouble. Has anyone on here been deplatformed off Facebook or Instagram yet? Just put one if you have, one in the comments. Okay. So if you're running Facebook ads and you lose your Facebook account, you're in trouble. You try getting it back. I did once. I lost it for a year. I had to go through all these hoops, and I spend like £500,000 a year with them. And plus my franchises on top, we're probably doing £250,000, £300,000 a month in total. Still couldn't get them on the phone. So you could lose your Facebook, Instagram at any moment. So if you're solely responsible, waiting and hoping that's going to work, then you're in trouble. Now, I'm just going to tell you as it is. You can't rely on just social media. You need to be doing the offline and online stuff as well. Okay? So let's just go over the social media. So type them in here. What social media platforms do we have? And I'll tell you the honest truth on what works and what doesn't and what not to waste your time on. So what have we got? TikTok and Facebook. Instagram and Facebook. Facebook, yeah. What else have we got? Think out of the box. Twitter. It's called X now, isn't it? Elon Musk's one. Websites. LinkedIn. Okay, let me tell you the truth about it. So, first of all, LinkedIn, waste your time. Don't waste your time with it. I've got the largest martial arts school in the world, and I'm the guy who's there mixing with entrepreneurs, not just in my sector, but in every sector of the world. LinkedIn, complete waste of time. You won't get team from it, you won't get attractors from it, and you certainly won't get members from it. It's not worth your time and energy. TikTok, it's an entertainment thing. I know there's people out there selling TikTok courses to get members in the martial arts schools. It's complete BS. It doesn't work. It don't work. Spent a fortune on it. It's not our place yet. You don't want to be linked to that dancing stuff and they just scroll. It's short form content. Maybe one day, and when it does work, I'll let you know. It don't work. Websites don't work. You just need a landing page. You need to drive traffic to that landing page. A big fancy website where you've got about me, about this, about that, what we do, this, shop, blah, 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 blah. They don't get, it's not like it used to be. It used to be a shop window. There's so many websites used to be expensive. These were like 10 to 20 grand. You get one for £500 now and build it yourself. You got to have one, but it won't bring you in leads. I'm interested nobody put Google there because that's a waste of time as well. Google is about getting yourself social proof, which I'll get onto in a second, using the mainstream media. Twitter's where the media live. Okay, interesting enough. So Twitter, if you want to be featured in your local media, if you want to be featured in mainstream media, get on TV and own your niche in your area, be well known, the most well-known martial arts instructor in your town, you need to be using Twitter. That's where media hang out. And when you get a bit more established, like with me, you probably see me do it. If I construct an Instagram post and I fire it off, I can get mainstream media off the back of that because the media follow me. So Instagram, for lead generation, waste of time. For brand recognition, it's still okay. But you've got to use it the right way. You've got to use Instagram stories, Instagram live, and the grid, Instagram post. But you'll get your most business from Instagram stories. You put the link in there and off you go. A few little hacks you can write down for this, by the way, too. If you've got to keep your Instagram stories active all the time, but if you cut it for 24 hours and then you put the story back on again, your reach will shock the algorithm and you'll get pushed out there more. So I've got like a couple 100,000 on mine. I normally get somewhere between 7,000 to 8,000 views per story. But if I don't post 24 hours and then I post again, I'll get 20,000 views per story. You normally get 4 to 5% of your following. Okay, so there you go. So Anthony's glad I said about LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn's knackered. Websites are knackered. You just need a landing page nowadays. Just tell them exactly what you do. People are very fast now. They want a quick answer. They don't want to be searching around. They'll move on to the next thing. It's a fast era we're in of technology. So there you go. TikTok, don't go buying those TikTok courses, right? I know there's a guy out there selling TikTok courses. He hasn't got any members. He ain't got no members. He's got no members. So there you go. He reached out to me once saying, Matt, I haven't got any money. I haven't got a pot to piss in or window to fall out of. And he's selling TikTok courses to get members in. It don't work. It does not work. All respect to people trying to make it work. But as a stand, in entrepreneur world in general, in any service-based business, TikTok, it's a lot of effort creating reels and all that, but it doesn't bring you any members in. I go on podcasts lots as guests telling my story, and I have millions of views. I don't get members coming in from it. It's an entertainment channel. Okay, how many members do we need per month if we want to build a six-figure business? Put in the comments. How many members do we need per month? Do we need 10? Do we need 20? Do we need 50? Do we need 100 to build a six-figure business? Got you thinking here, haven't I? How many members do we need per month, every month? 600, 300? Okay, so if you shut the back door and you got the retention right, which we'll do another webinar in the future, and your student service is outstanding, and you get in that 3% bracket of attrition, and you open the front door wide, and you've got an incredible curriculum, you're doing everything right, building a team and scaling up, you need 20 members per month. That's all you need. Every single month. There's no reason throughout this year you shouldn't finish on. Now, when I mean members, I don't mean heads. I mean direct debits. 20 direct debits per month, even in December, even in a hot summer, you will always find a way. But you won't do it just with social media advertising. You need to use offline methods to do that as well with it. So I have this thing called the 15-5 method. Write that down. 15-5. So 15/5. So very simply, by the 5th of each month, so by the 5th of February, you'll be working towards now, you should have 15 ideas offline on how you're going to get your 20 members in the next month. Now, why do we do it on the 5th? Because it takes planning to organize leaflets, school talks, etc. I'll get onto a second, to get these things in place. It takes planning. You can't leave it to the end of the month. You need to plan. You need at least 3 weeks. So by the 5th of every month in an MF organization, All of my franchise instructors have got 15 offline ideas ready. Now, bear in mind, they've got a manual that's got 60 of them in. So I give them all the ideas. So they just got to pluck them all off and off you go. And I'll show you. Who would like a copy of that manual, by the way? Just put yes in the comments if you'd like a copy of 60 offline marketing and how I built the MF organization. Yeah, thought you would. Let me see how I feel in a second. So by the 15, so 15 ideas by the 5th of every month. Everyone got that concept? Put yes in the comments if you got that. So live by this, okay? Especially this year. Do not finish. Now, if you've got multiple schools, we're talking 20 per school. If you can't do 20 direct debits a month, then you shouldn't even be in business. You haven't got the right mentor. No one's educating on it. So very simple to do. Now, let me tell you something, right? I didn't invent this saying, but it's true. There's not a problem in your martial arts school where 20 new members would not fix. You're always going to get, it will always give you new team members, new instructors. Who finds it hard to build a team, for finding instructors to expand? Put one in the comments. Who would like me to do a webinar on that in the future? Okay. I got a franchise that's got like 80 instructors ready to go. His biggest problem, he can't open locations big enough. So we have something called the MF University. I might go into detail on how we built that, give you a chance to kind of come along and see it in action as a next client. So there's no problem that 20 white belts won't fix. Now, it will depend on what you do, depending on where you live. If you're in London, if you're in the northeast, in Scotland, you're going to get certain things respond. Like if you try and do Facebook ads in London, then good luck. It's hard work. But if you do some offline stuff, it's easy work. If you do Facebook ads in the north of Scotland, you'll do very well. But it's all I know about the difference between spending and investment. Whenever you put money, there's two ways you get members in, right? Write this down. Either your time or your money. That's it. And when you spend money on marketing, it's not spending, it's investing. So what can you spend to get a new member in? So the rule of thumb back when I started, you can spend anything up to £150 to get a new member, because you collect the joining fee, you should have a direct debit ready for a couple of weeks later, and then have a grader coming up, you've had the money in, and you're in to return on your investment. So all of you should be spending anywhere from £0 to £150 to get a new member in to get 20 members per month. It's investing. There's no greater investment on it. In my martial arts school model, the MF schools, we're 85% profit because we understand this concept. Let me whiz on to the next thing. Okay, owning your niche. We talked about this earlier on, and it's something that I don't think you guys take advantage of. So I learned early on that you need to be the most famous person in your niche, and I pulled that off. I'm not trying to be arrogant or nothing, but we did that in all of our towns. That was something we do. So all of you got local newspapers, radio stations, TV stations, and you should be featured on it. And I'll give you some quick ideas, some fire round ideas, which you can write down. And then the further stuff, you're part of my network, you can pull them off my videos and my Zooms or my face-to-face events. But so let me give you some good ideas. So you've all got a story. Radio stations always looking for stories. To get every time you do a grading exam, take a group picture, always submit it into your local regional paper because they're stuck for content. Also, you want to be remembering that when you get featured in mainstream media, yes, it's dying. Mainstream media is dying. But when property dies, what do? You go in, you buy it cheap. When mainstream media is dying, you go in and take advantage of it. So you should always be in your local media for student achievements, testimonials, parents who've lost weight, child who's come in, has been bullied, is no longer being bullied anymore. An underconfident child is now confident. Someone who's become a black belt. Like I said, the group shot of every grading that you have should be in there. And always have a call to action. How to get a free trial or taste a class with us, go to here. Because journalists are so lazy these days, you can write the press release for them and they'll just put it in. 99% of the time it gets in, the call to action, everything. It's free marketing. And you've got to work it. Now, if you want to be in mainstream media, you've got to find your pain point. Now, they're all looking for all these stories that you've been on. And it's very easy. If I want to be on This Morning tomorrow, I can come up with a story and agenda, and it needs to be human interest. All of you can work these systems, okay? It's very, very, very simple. And you can use it for your marketing. Let me give you one thing that works well. Radio giveaways. Write this one down. So contact your local radio station and say, hi, I'm the local martial arts instructor. I've got a school, been established, blah, blah, blah. I changed children's lives. We're educators. And I want to give your radio station 50 free 1-month memberships to my school. And what they'll do, they'll run a competition. You probably heard these competitions. Who's heard these competitions before? Put one in the comments. Yeah, radio competitions. So they'll come up with these questions, and then everyone wins a free month. You've got yourself 50 leads for free and great brand recognition too. Who likes idea? Put 2 in the comments if you like that idea. Get on it today. Contact your local radio station. Easy. Okay. So let me whiz you through some of the things. So you've got to own your niche, and I could spend a whole day on this subject. Actually, I do spend 3 days on this subject in my my networking group that I have. But so you need to really focus on that because it's neglected. It's not work. So we talked about Facebook. We talked about Twitter. We talked about TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You know the truth about all of that. Now, and deplatform the risk of that and relying on that. You also know what you can invest. Spending is something that you spend and it goes away, it doesn't come back. Investing is where you're going to get a return. So you can spend up to £150 when you member. I've let you into that secret. Okay. Offline. Let me just whiz through you some ideas. And again, I'm going to give you a chance. I want you to pay attention to this. I'm not selling you nothing. I'm just giving you a chance to jump on and I'm going to give you something away. Because I just believe all of us should be collaborating, not competing. Ever since the lockdown happened, everyone's been like, Matt, you've been doing this right from the beginning. One of the founders of martial arts business. What do we do in this situation? And I worked with Nest very closely, and I want to do this for Nest and do this for you guys who've stuck this out on the webinar with me for almost an hour. We'll be 10 or 15 minutes, we'll be done. So, offline ideas, school packs. Write that one down. Now, if you want access to a detailed guide on how to do it, I'll show you how to get that in a second. So the school packs is basically, you got to make it so it looks like it comes from the head teacher. So you have a sticky label which says for attention of parent guardian only. Then it goes on a brown envelope, and inside you have a letter, and I can get you a copy of the letter if you want. And the letter basically is Dear Parent Guardian, and it talks about the educational benefits. Remember, you're not selling martial arts, you're selling benefits. We don't do sales. You don't need high ticket sales in this industry. You show people, you teach respect, discipline, self-control, good manners, water safety, fire safety. They will buy from you. You don't need to go, if you don't join today, 6 months tonight, from now, how will you feel? All this nonsense. You don't need to do that. My franchise don't do that. We show them the benefits, so much value there, they buy. We don't sell. We have no sales system. That's it. We just present the benefits. So you don't sell benefits. You're not selling martial arts, you're selling benefits. That's what you're doing. If you're in education, you'll always be in business. Lockdowns, recessions, depressions, whatever. Education will never die. There'll always be parents out there who want their kids to be more disciplined, more respectful, more educated. Who agrees with me? Put one in the comments if you agree with me on that one. Do not be in the self-defense competition, but don't put adverts out, you smashing bricks. You should respect, discipline, self-control. That's what it should be. I can give you the perfect ad. So you have an envelope, sticker on the top, parent guardian, and inside a letter, which is all about the benefits, and then your leaflet, and it has to have a QR code on it nowadays, doesn't it? Because nobody rings you anymore. And if you notice, when you ring people a lot, they don't pick up the phone. So that needs to be there. And you put them in bundles of 30, and because most classes in schools are 30, and you get to the schools early in the morning, speak to the secretary, hi, I'm the local martial arts instructor. I'm running a free course for a month on keeping kids safe, teaching them respect, discipline, self-control, have good manners, dangers of fire safety, stranger danger. Do you mind giving these out in your school register at lunchtime? They will take them. Now, if you do it after lunch, they'll be thrown in the bin, forgotten about, and the school caretaker will just pick them up, think they're rubbish. They will put them in registers. The school will do the register after lunch, and they'll give them out. You'll get bombarded with leads. And even better, you can do this electronically. We have an electronic version of this, which I'll show you how to get access to in a second, where you approach the school and you've got no printing costs, nothing at all. And you say to the school, I'm going to create a win-win for you here. I'll do a free self-defense class for all your children, or even better, the parents of the children, because they're the real members, they're paying for it. And then all I want from you is to mail out electronic version of the school pack letter, which I've told you about, all the benefits, the free trial then, and it has a link, a digital link directly to your website for you to get leads directly. Now that's free money. That is free. I've got one franchise that does 2 schools per month, takes on 100 members per month for free, just doing that. He's got 80 schools. That's all he does. Nothing else. If you like a copy of that letter, let me know. Just put one in the comments and I'll guide you to how we can do that in a second. Okay. Someone asked a question. I'll do a bit of Q&A at the end and get that done. Okay, next thing, leaflets. We've already established. You've got to have a QR code on it. Don't put telephone numbers anymore. Old school, gone. Everything evolves. You need to have QR. People need to hover their phone over, do it, bam, gone, get in. Everything's fast now. Money doesn't like friction. It's the speed that you can move at. Our website link's okay. They're not okay on the leaflet, Dante, but they're okay if it's an electronic version that the schools are giving out. I've done a big video series in mf.club all on the videos on how you can use schools, how you can get in schools, how you can make it a win-win to get parents, the assemblies, doing the PE lessons and make it work. You don't just want to go do a PE lesson, by the way, because you want to get members from it. You need to go in there to lead generate. That's the key, okay? Offline. So it's a massive thing. When you do demos, make sure you do edutainment. Write that down, edutainment, not entertainment. Don't do a demo where you're flying through the air. Someone on the microphone. We're the local school. We've been around for the last so-and-so. We teach children respect, discipline, and so forth. I've got people giving out leaflets right now with a QR code. Scan it and you get yourself a free month, a free 2 weeks, or whatever you're going to offer, free uniform. Don't just do a demo and walk away. You need to educate those people. Really, really important. Banners. Don't underestimate where you can put banners these days. Go drive around your local town, find where there's banners, get yourself a banner. They're really cheap now. Back when I started, they were expensive, like £500–600. Put banners up, right? Even if they're up for 2 or 3 weeks before they're taken down, you're going to get brand awareness and you're going to get memberships from it. And what's the key? QR code. People drive past, boom, get it. I've done it recently on a banner. Have them everywhere in your local town. When I go to your town, I should see your martial arts school everywhere. If not, you're going to see mine. So be there with me or collaborate, don't compete. We're there to help you. Parents' night out. These work great. Parents struggle for babysitters. It's tough. I've got 6 kids. I know exactly what that's like. If you put a very structured on where you do a martial arts lesson, they sit down and watch a movie, let the parents go out, no expense parents, but they get to bring their friends, their brothers and sisters. You're going to have a lead there. You're going to take their names and numbers, do the fire eggs, and you're going to have a lot of leads to get back to. And they already know the price. They already recommended because they know somebody who's linked to it. Referral is your best one. So let's get on to that. So referrals. So you could do prize referrals. You could do reward referrals. So if someone gives you 5 referrals and they join, you might give them the latest PlayStation or Xbox or a game or whatever it may be. We've done loads of things, but we've done 5. The best one we ever did was £500 cash. It was December. I said to all my members, £500 cash, 1st of December. If you give me the first person to give me 5 referrals. Then we had runner-up prizes, by the way. And I gave the £500 cash in the class. The people could believe it because they thought it might have been a scam. And that was my best. Rather than spending money on advertising and stuff, get the job done. Get your 20 members in per school that way. £500, 20 direct debits, what a great trade-off that is. That's like trading £5 for trading 10 grand, doing it right, with upgrades and gradings and merchandise and so on. Okay. School talks, again, do it, but only on the basis you're going to give out promotions at the end of it. Create a win-win. I'll show you where you can learn how to do all this stuff in a second. Partnering with local business, B2B. Put daytime classes in, working with businesses. They've got these big conference rooms a lot of these businesses have, especially in big cities and towns. Get in there and run it. So when they've got their lunch times, they'll encourage their, I see all the time with yoga, why not martial arts? We do it with martial arts. Have daytime classes, make money in the daytime too. I did it with McDonald's, by the way, and it's made me millions. So every time I approach McDonald's, obviously they get a bit of a kicking because it's bad food and whatever it may, you know the score. I said to them, every time you do a drive-through, an in-house sale, you deliver the meal, inside the bag, they had a £50 gift voucher for Matt Fiddes martial arts, which basically was a joining fee, waived, okay? So imagine the power of this. Every McDonald's was giving out a Matt Fiddes martial arts voucher per meal. And we would check on them that they were doing it. Now, what was in it for them? Linked to health and nutrition, looking after people. But we trained all their staff up for free in self-defense because they get a lot of abuse at McDonald's, especially late at night and on the drive-thrus. They bit our hand off, and then we made it into a media article as well. So it's a win-win for them, doing something good for their staff. And for me, it made me millions. It was incredible. So yeah, they're all franchised out. So you just do one at a time, local to your area. Head office don't get involved with McDonald's. I mean, that's just one example. You can go to loads of different things like that. Shopping centres, a lot of these you can get for free. Do something for the staff. If not, they're very inexpensive. But run competitions. Try and you throw the start and it hits, then you win a 3 months membership. Car stickers, Mother and Father's Day specials, Christmas pies. I know you've got to wait a year for that again now, but that's something you could have done. Bring their brothers and sisters and friends. Get the names and numbers for fire eggs. At the end, go back and offer them a 3 month. Get on the PTA. Family add-ons, encourage it. Now, one thing for sure, when you get to black belt exam, if you look around the room, it's all families who made it. Now, the Matt Fiddes Martial Arts, we are a family organisation. And when you get to the panel grade, it's the final bit, you look around, they're all 2s and 3s, 4s, because it's very rare you're going to get a family quit. A family decision don't quit. And it becomes cheaper. That's how you should structure your membership if you have more people on a family membership. Okay, I'll give you some ideas. I can't run through them all because I've got 60 of them. Now I'm going to show you how to gain access. I've got permission from Ness to this, and it's quite straightforward. So Bridget, can I wake you up? Are you there? I'm going to show you how and what you can learn a bit more of this stuff, and also about the property stuff too. And you need more than one income stream and marketing and so forth. So I'm going to get Bridget to share the screen in a second. I'm going to show you exactly where you can download and get a manual of 60 marketing ideas. So just try and wake on her a second. So in the meantime, has anyone got well, you probably have after me ranting on like that. Questions, put them in the comments. Any question you like and I'll answer it. Make the most out of me. I'll just wait, get Bridget to jump on. So dump your questions inside the comments for me. Chat box, sorry.
Matt, we did have a question from...
hi, Bridget. Could you jump on and share the slides? Thank you. Sorry, Lou.
We did have a question from a client who was asking, you'd mentioned a lot about social media platforms that don't work. He said, which is the most successful in your opinion? Which one would you focus?
That's a good point. I missed that out. Okay, the number one platform for social media, the only one that works. Now you should be present on them all. The only one that works is Facebook. I'm just telling you as it is, okay? That's it. Facebook. You should be posting at 8 a.m. in the morning. So write these down. 8 a.m. in the morning. 10 a.m. when the kids have been dropped off and parents come back, because parents are your real members. 2 p.m. when they go and pick their kids up and they think, oh God, they're disciplined and stuff. They're thinking about all in their head. Then you should be posting at 8 o'clock at night when they put the kids to bed and they're sat there and they're going to see it. Now, let me give you one secret, okay? Out of all the Facebook stuff you can do, a lot of you have probably seen me do. Who's seen me do my Facebook lives? So go live. So Facebook want you to be social. If you just do a random post, nothing will happen. You need to encourage engagement. So you go live once a day. People say, oh, can I go live once a day? If you can stand up in front of 30 students, not have any issues, you can go live on Facebook. So you go live, you just go, hi, my name's Jenny. I got the local martial arts school in Surrey, and I run classes that change lives. Recently, I had a child who was 7 to 11 who's been bullied at school, and now the parents praising me. I put the link in the comments, a testimony I got for them. It's a video. Go watch it afterwards on how they've changed their life, and the child's doing great. I like changing lives. We're a family brand. We're here to help your community. We've been around for the last 10 years. We're not just about kicking and punching, because that's what people are worried about. We're about education. We like to think we're a private school, not a club. The link's in the comments. If you'd like to go and join, or be part of my martial arts school, stop your child being bullied, stop them getting hit with negative peer pressure. Do you know most kids who go to high school, secondary school now are tempted by cocaine, drinking alcohol early? We have a strict regime, a creed, where we have no alcohol, smoking or drugs in our martial arts school. Links in the comments. Go click on it now. You're going to get a free 2-week trial, a free uniform, no catches, no contracts. Off you go, and I look forward to meeting you in person. End the live, done. Now, you get 45 minutes after the live to work the comments, okay? And if you see people pop up, acknowledge them. So it'd be like, hey, Pete Anderson, how you doing, Pete? Hope you're good. Because Facebook monitors your social activity, and you've got to recognize it. I know it sounds mad, but it does. It monitors your activity. So if you go into I don't know, a car Range Rover, you'll come out and you'll get hit with a Range Rover ad. Who's had these crazy experiences before? Put one in the comments if you have. So the number one tactic for Facebook is a Facebook Live per day. Not more than one. It only allows you one live. They want you to go live. They want you to be social. They don't want it filled up with spam adverts, okay? But remember, every live you do needs to have a call to action. I'll give you one secret. Do not put the link in the description. So when you go live, you do description, free classes, whatever. Don't put the word free. Don't put anything about it other than, hi, I'm the local martial arts instructor. I've got something for you. Be careful to use keywords, because they want you to pay for ads, right? Now, the link to your website, your Nest, so Nest does free websites for all of your Nest clients. Then your link needs to go in the comments. So at the moment, you get away with that. You have done for the last few years. You'll see when I do my lives, There's never any link in the description because Facebook will pick it up and they will block your reach, or even worse, they'll deplatform you because they want you to spend money. You can get away with link in the comments, testimonial videos in the comment. You get away with all of that. Anything external linked to, if you send them to YouTube or anything else, a podcast, you won't get a reach. It's got to be in Meta. So Instagram's okay, WhatsApp's okay, because WhatsApp's all owned by Meta. Facebook's okay. So that's the number one way to get members in on social media. And if you get deplatformed, you've got to do the offline stuff. And I'm going to show you how you can get access now to 60 offline ideas on how I built the MF organization and talk you through it. So, Bridget, can I share the screen? And I'll take a few more questions before Louisa gets irritated with me, because I've probably gone on a bit longer, but it's been good stuff anyway. So this is the manual. And I thought, seeing this, I've had a good Christmas and it's 2024, I want to give some back to Ness. So it breaks down everything on all the offline stuff I can think of and I use. So when you do your 15 ideas each month, so I take you right through how to do it. A lot of these events you go to show you what to do, but not how to do it. So we've got the whole manual here. She's going to go through it quite quickly. So there you go. It's all there. Done all the work for you. Now, I'm quite accessible on Instagram, by the way, and stuff, but let me show how I want you to gain access. Now, if I gave this all to you now completely for free, you won't do nothing with it. Amount of free stuff I've done, people who pay attention. So I launched this. It's called mf.club. I know a few people are part of this already. It's only 33 pay a day. When people say to me, what should I invest in right now, Matt? You invest in yourself, your own education. You need to learn all this stuff. How did I take £100 and turn it into 120 million empire? How do I easily get 20 members? How can you build a team? How can you improve your retention? So I go through how to franchise your business, grow your business. I teach about the property section here, how to get out of the rat race. If you've got a day job at the moment and you want to get out of it, if Ness put this recording somewhere for people who've got jobs who can't attend today. Healthy body. There's no point being the richest man in the graveyard. Stay health. All those, I give you 3 areas of how to grow your business. All my past webinars and Zooms that we do here with people, friends of mine like Rob Moore, Jess and James, my billionaire friend Alfie Best. So it's as simple as that. There's no catch. There's no contract. You can cancel anytime you want. I'm going to upload the manual with 60 offline marketing ideas. So this is my mortgage advice. You want to get into a mortgage, sort your mortgage out, get into, you'll learn rent to rent, all the property strategies. The first 47 properties I bought with none of my own money. Yeah, the things I love about branding and marketing, mainstream media. I've done Zoom masterclass on that. There's 350 hours of content on here from how to you may want to franchise your martial arts school. Who would like to franchise it? Put one in the comments. You'd like to go, I mean, I'm the master of that, or license it. Like to scare who wants to build teams and learn how to do that. So I've got stuff from Grant Cardone, Elena Cardone, friends of mine. Facebook, you all know Swapnil Gill. We've done how to set off an ad. And also every 3 to 4 months, we put on an event called the Health and Wealth Summit. And for everyone who's attended today, if you join this now how you join it is very simple. You just go to www.mf.club. Very, very simple. And you sign up. It's 33p a day. I will make sure we'll upload in the bonus section the 60. I'll keep it up there for 24, 48 hours for you guys to download it. 60 offline ideas, that manual there, which is number 11. Oh, it's already there. There you go. It's already there for you to go and get. Well, you can use the QR code. So put your phone over the QR code. Go join now. If you want to, you can sign up, pay your £9.99 cancel if you want, but you won't want to. Our next Health and Wealth Summit, by the way, is March the 8th. The last one, we had a property developer speaker there. And again, it's free to attend. Normally it costs you £2,000 to £3,000, but I'd like to give back. It's my passion project. I don't have to be present in my martial arts schools at all. So for me, this is my fun project. So we had a developer speaker. We had a rent-to-rent property expert. We had a social media expert. We had Swapnil Gill there, how to teach you how to set off a Facebook ad yourself without having to pay thousands of pounds. We had TikTok stuff taught to you there. We had Pat O'Driscoll talk about how he built 6,500 students from zero, a multi-million pound. He's got the biggest martial arts school in the world. And it's very, very simple. So we got a video on the Health and Wealth Summit. We have. And I even got my billionaire friend, a lot of you might have seen, who's heard of Alfie Best? Alfie Best. So put one in the comments if you've heard of Alfie Best. So Alfie Best, I asked him, he flew in on his helicopter, his £7 million helicopter, 8-seater Aston Martin custom built. And he did 2.5 hours on how he became a billionaire. And he was born from nothing outside of a caravan as a gypsy billionaire, they call him. There's Swap and Gill talking there. There's some attendees there. And you can have a free ticket if you become an MF Club member. It's Alfie landing his helicopter. So this is March the 8th. If you can't attend in person, you can have a virtual ticket, and you get a copy of the recording if you're part of MF.club anyway. So very simply, all you go to, can we have the QR code up again, Bridget? Put your phone over the QR code, or do it the old-fashioned way, just go to mf.club. Now, the other thing, guys, too, when we get you back, go back on the screen, I'm not precious about my social media. I'm here to help you all. So tag me in your Instagram stories, and I'll share you to all my, across my organization, we've got 7 million followers. I'll share you out there. I'm not precious about my social media. I try and help and give back as much value as I can. Okay, so take a screenshot, go join now. I'll keep that up there for 48 hours, 60 offline ideas, and you've got access to all the other stuff. Like I say, it's £9.99 a month, 33p a day. What can you get for 33p a day? What can you get for £9.99 a month anymore? My wife spends more than that, and cost her. Don't know how she manages it. Cost her each day. And educate yourself in all the stuff you need to know in 2024, and we'll give you that manual for free. Okay? It's as simple as that. Well, let me take a few Q&As, and then I'll have Louisa back. So let me get in the chat box. I'll leave this up at the end anyway for you guys. Right, so somebody's seen Alfie's yacht. Yeah, he's got a nice yacht, hasn't he? Okay, question. Who's got questions about anything? Sales, marketing, building a team, anything to do with martial arts industry? You got me now. Largest martial arts school in the world. Take use of it. I'm here for another probably 5-10 minutes. You mentioned there was something to consider when running a full-time location. Okay, good point. Good point, Dante. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth about this. Back in 1996, all of us, the first 5 of us who brought martial arts business to the UK, we all thought full-time centres was the way. That is the hard work way. I don't advise you to do full-time centres. They're good for your ego, but they're not good for your bank account. Energy costs going up. The leasing of the building not in your control. Owning those buildings are not the greatest investment. You want to have buildings that people live in, really. Commercial, not the best investment. It's good for your pension to buy it, but other than that, it's no good. People who built, now this is the truth, right? The names who had full-time academies back then don't have them anymore because they are financial drains. You need receptionists, you need cleaners, you need, a lot of you have business rates now and electricity bills, and also trying to get, with a full-time thing, you need 300 or 400 people in the same place, in that same town. You're going to saturate your area eventually. It will happen. You'll saturate your area. So my advice is don't do full-time centres. Now, when you've got more than one school, if you've got like 10 or 15 schools, it's good to have one as a hub or place to meet for your team and your staff. But if you've got a full-time centre, you're not going to make any money in the martial arts industry. Not big money anyway. Not big money. Not enough where you can retire young, do what you want. And I know that because I've still got my full-time centre and it runs at about 200 members now. Used to have 700 members, making me $1 million a year. Because you saturate the town. And you need, people don't travel anymore. That's why McDonald's, they don't have one big high street. They spend millions of pounds on market research. So wherever there's McDonald's, you should open one. And they research people who have kids from 2 years old and adults up to 45 years old, which is our target market. So wherever there's a McDonald's, you'll see they have lots of little ones in your towns. Go and open up near them. They've done all the market research for you. That's a big tip for you on how to pick your location. Try not to do full-time. It's just slow. It's slow and it killer. Your landlord could turn around and say, don't want you anymore. I mean, things can change. What's happening in the property world at the minute, you can take commercial space and convert it into flats and apartments. You can get booted out at any time. My friend Kim Stones, he got derailed out of his one in Doncaster. He got knocked down. He didn't have any choice in it. He had some compensation, but it was awful at the time. So the truth is, 27 years on, all the full-time centres that opened up back then are no longer active. That tells you something. Why have to stress? In the lockdown, I didn't have any stress. I was just school halls and village halls. And I love church halls. They were awesome. You know, £20 a night, £30. You can hunt them out. And it's easy. You just maintain it. You want 50, 60 students per area and be all round, just like McDonald's are, you know. When people go on about comparing me to McDonald's, McDojo, it's the biggest compliment in the world. But that's why, because wherever they open, I open. They're in the real estate business. They're the biggest property owners other than the Catholic Church in the world. That's where you need to be doing. Let me just take a few more. I've got a PT hire only dojo set up in Brighton behind McDonald's. That's cool. Now, Brighton's expensive, Anthony. I know that market well. So you're going to need to expand. You could probably get 10, 15 schools in Brighton. Maintaining martial arts integrity. Yeah, it's important to do that. And I think what a lot of you don't know is I outsource my curriculum. I'm not asking you to go and do that. This doesn't, I don't care about people talking about me, because the more people that talk about you, it's like having free publicists. I get more members and more franchises. So you have to maintain your integrity, but integrity won't pay your bills. Good standards will pay your bills. Now, what you got to remember is when a parent comes in, you've got to deliver the education they want. They want their child to become like you are. They're going to look at you and think, oh, do you represent what I want my child to become? They don't care about how high you can kick, how many competitions you won, how many medals you have, Olympic Games or nothing. They don't give a monkeys about that. What are you going to do for your child? Like if you go to a doctor sits you down and says, what are you going to do for me? Okay. Best age group, 3 to 6 year olds if you want to grow quickly. How do you vet your coaches for different sites you run? We do this massive vet. They all have to do safeguarding through Nest. They have to be DBS'd, and I sign every single one of them off personally. Okay, on that note, I hope you've enjoyed today. If you enjoyed it, put one in the comments. You've got value from today. I've given you everything.
Matt, just quickly before you sign off, we just had Roy was asking if you can just give us like 3 top headline tips on how to build a great team.
Yeah, team building is a big one. I've done a big section of that in mf.club, so I'll give you the 3 ideas. So first of all, you can go external. There seems to be this mind blockage that you can't recruit martial arts instructors on the outside. It's a dream career. So you can go to trying to think what they call that, the websites which you put jobs on, Indeed.com. You can go to Indeed.com, but don't put commission related in it. Just put a salary on. You put a salary on £2,000 a month looking for a martial arts instructor, you're going to get inundated, but audition them down. And remember, you're not taking them for the martial arts standards or how many championships they won. You want to make sure they can get members in the market for you first, and then they're good coaches and they've got a good standard. That's what you got to make sure. So you've got to interview them the right way. The other thing too is most of you got something called diamonds in the backyard. If I come to your schools, I'll be able to pull out 2 or 3 people who will be able to work for you, but you're too close to them to see it. So go back to your student base, have a look. All your parents and students who could be an instructor for you and go and expand or run on a location for you. Okay, and we could do a whole webinar on this in the future. So yeah, a lot of you got team, you just don't realize it. A lot of my franchises say, I've got no team. I go visit their school and I find them 3 team members right away. My lot don't have problems getting teams. We just don't have time to get enough locations open. That's where you've got to be. You've got to market for your team the same way as you market for new students. You've got to put your same energy in the same place. You've got to be aggressive.
Thank you very much. And just one more, I think we've somehow skipped past. How can I structure a non-kata art like JKD? That might be a wider question that.
Yeah, so the art doesn't matter. No one's signing up to your program, or shouldn't be, for the martial art style. They should be signing up for the benefits that Jeet Kune Do, isn't it, offers. So what you don't want to be doing, I'm not trying to upset you here, I'm just telling you as it is. You don't want to be advertising Bruce Lee style that he invented, you know, the art of fighting without fighting. No one gives a monkeys about that, because you're appealing to the general mass public here. You need to be, with Jeet Kune Do and stuff, you need to be advertising in a structural curriculum. So it's life scale based, educational, respect, discipline, doing their homework on time, keeping the bedroom tidy. So you fall in the same category. So the art, the style, whether it's Krav Maga, Jiu-Jitsu, Tai Chi, doesn't matter, Judo, Taekwondo, all the principles of what I've taught you today is the same.
Excellent, excellent. Matt, look, it leaves me to say thank you so much. You have given us so much of your time, so much of your valuable information and knowledge, which has taken you many, many years of trial and error. You've done a lot of the trial and error and testing for us and for the industry. So yeah, we've taken, someone else mentioned your golden nuggets, so to speak. So thank you for those golden nuggets. But yeah, listen, thank you so much. I think this is all online, so this will be uploaded to the marketing toolkit for Nest clients. You'll be able to see that on there. And yeah, I think you've given enough information to our guys to be able to reach out to you. if they have any questions about your online coaching system or any questions, as you say, you can backlink on social media. But yeah, that's absolutely fantastic, more than we could have hoped for. So thank you so much for that, Matt, and thank you to everyone who's joined us and taken the time.
Go smash your 20 members a month, everyone. Make this a big year. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank
We'll make
you.
it happen.